Okay, so in this video, we are taking a deep dive in the comparison of the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 5 to the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. Let's go ahead and jump in. First things first, let's start off with the basic, the price. The Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 5 here is going to run you $1,800 as opposed to the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, which will run you $1,200. And we're talking base model, right? So the base here is going to come with 256 gigs of internal storage and 12 gigs of RAM. And this guy here is also going to come with 256 gigs with 12 gigs of RAM. You will have available a number of variants or colors to choose from. Now, the next thing here that we need to look at is the fact that the Z Fold 5 is obviously a foldable as opposed to the Galaxy S23 Ultra. Both phones are running the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, which is Qualcomm's current flagship chipset. Raw power and performance, actually I would say that they're about the same. The Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra here does have an S Pen. You have an S Pen also that goes with the Z Fold 5 here. Personally, I think this is the best in the foldable category, and that's one of the reasons why we are comparing these two. Also, there's pretty much the same family, and these things are going for top dollar. What you're looking at here with the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra is a 6.8 inches display, and it's such a beautiful display here. The resolution here is going to be 1440 by 3088, so you're looking at 500 ppi. This thing is highly pixel dense, right? A Quad HD Plus display where, you know, watching movies, playing games, whatever you're doing on this phone is just so nice. It feels so good. User experience with that display is just something, you know, out of this world. In terms of physical features, obviously you have your power button, volume rocker, of course. You have some extra mics there, a single speaker at the bottom there, and that is of course tuned by AKG, so sound quality is actually really nice. So stereo sound out of this here. Now let's go ahead and switch over to the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 5 here. You don't have one, but you have two displays here. So if we want to start off with the front display here, it is a 6.2 inches display with 904 by 2316 in terms of the resolution here. And then on the inside, you have a 7.6 inches, and the resolution here is going to be 1812 by 2176. So 373 ppi in terms of the density. The Galaxy S23 Ultra here, it's more pixel dense when compared to the Z Fold 5 here. Obviously being OLED display, inky blacks, inky red. And I need to add one thing here. This is a dynamic AMOLED display. So you have that refresh rate bounce back and forth anywhere from 1 all the way to 120 hertz. And the same goes for the Z Fold 5. The display on the S23 Ultra here is a bit more resistant, maybe a bit more solid than what you have with the inside display. And don't let the fact that it's foldable fool you. It's not as fragile as it looks. It's very well built. It's solid, dust and water resistant. Talking about the physical attributes of the Z Fold 5, you also do have power button, volume rocker, and that power button actually doubles as a fingerprint scanner. You do have a dual speaker setup here, and in my experience, it sounds louder than the speaker coming out of the S23 Ultra. But anyway, so the user experience on the Z Fold 5 here is something that is very different from what you have on the Galaxy S23 Ultra here, right? So you can use the Z Fold 5 when it's closed. There's a philosophy behind this thing. The focus is actually on the inside display, not on the outside display. It's supposed to allow for you to do a good chunk of things, and then if you need more, you could go ahead and go on the inside. That's where the entire technology lies, right? The fact that the display folds, they put so much, you know, energy and resources in that whole research and development department so that they can figure out how to unfold the display and make it so that you can use the inside and truly enjoy a gigantic display. You know, in terms of user experience, here you have a candy bar like, you know, type of experience. So your typical traditional form factor, you know, just holding it like this and doing everything. This is where, you know, you live and die, right? So you just turn on that display and you do everything that you want here. With the Z Fold 5 here, it's up to you, right? You can do everything you want here, but of course, it's going to be some stuff that you won't be able to do as comfortably as you would if you were to open it. So the user experience would be you do a good chunk here, save battery, or you can use here and be super productive. When it comes down to productivity, the S23 Ultra is definitely going to make you highly productive when compared to your typical average phone. Now, you are a bit more productive on the Z Fold 5. The technology on the Z Fold 5 here actually makes the Z Fold 5 more practical than a lot of people are willing to admit, right? Because opening this and having such a large display, you actually are able to take multitasking to, you know, a step further than what you would with the S23 Ultra here. Plus, you know, it's a larger display. You have a lot more screen real estate, so you could do a bit more, and you can do that comfortably, a bit more comfortably than you would on the S23 Ultra, right? So let's go ahead and switch over to the cameras here, and that is truly where the S23 Ultra shines. So let's start off with the main cameras. Obviously, on the back here, you do have 3 cameras on that camera module on the Z Fold 5 here, whereas on the Galaxy S23 Ultra, you actually have 4 cameras. The Z Fold 5 is pushing a 50 megapixel, a 10, and a 12 megapixel lens, whereas the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra here is pushing a 12 megapixel, a 10 megapixel, and another 10 megapixel telephoto, and a 200 megapixel lens on the back here. And both phones are able to shoot 8K videos on those main cameras. Now, switching over to the selfie cameras here, what you have with the Z Fold 5 here would be a 10 megapixel for that selfie camera. And when it comes down to the picture quality, definitely the S23 Ultra. You get better picture quality there, better low light photos on the S23 Ultra. This is literally a pro camera. Now, that doesn't mean that the cameras on the Z Fold 5 are not good. You also do get pro level cameras on the Z Fold 5 here. Now let's go ahead and talk about the S Pen. As I mentioned earlier, the Z Fold 5, you do have this S Pen, which is the newer version of the S Pen here. It's thinner. On the S23 Ultra, what we have is an S Pen, and it has its own chamber directly in the phone here for you to go ahead and store. In terms of the experience, the user experience on the S Pen, on the Z Fold 5 here, you can't use it on that front display, but you could definitely use it on the display on the inside, and it feels, easier to use it on the display on the inside on the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra here. Obviously, you only have one display, so you can use that on that main display there. Personally, I don't like to dive too deep into these specific S Pens because I don't use them that much because I'm always carrying a tablet, and with my tablets, I always have an S Pen. Plus, they don't feel as comfortable as the S Pens that are found on my tablet. Let's go ahead and switch over to the batteries now. On the Z Fold 5 here, you have a 4,400 milliamp as opposed to a 5,000 milliamp on the Galaxy S23 Ultra here. Galaxy S23 Ultra definitely has a better battery. Now, you may be familiar with the fact that the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 there is really, really good with battery management, right? So it's really battery efficient, and battery life is definitely better on the S23 Ultra. These two are reverse charge capable, right? So they do support reverse charge. So you can have, another phone or, earphones or whatever you want to charge. You could just put that on the back of the device there and, enable the function, and it will go ahead and charge without any issues. Now, I think this is a good point to go ahead and end this video here. So let me go ahead and just give you my take. If you're an average consumer and you're just looking for the best phone out there, you don't really interest yourself with more complex or more context and explanation as to why this and that, just go ahead and buy the S23 Ultra. It's simply the best phone that money can buy today. As simple as that. And like I said before, it's the general consensus in the tech community that the S23 Ultra is the best phone. The Z Fold 5 here is the best mainstream foldable right now, just so that people don't come after me. But anyway, so it is the best. Samsung has done wonders with this thing here. I've been enjoying the improvements that Samsung has made, with the strides that Samsung has made with the foldable market there. So I guess the bottom line is that if you are a tech enthusiast or if you want to be on the cutting edge of technology, then obviously go ahead and pick up the Z Fold 5. It is the best foldable you can get right now. That's just my take. Anyways, I would love to hear what your take is on here. Obviously, it all depends on what you're looking for, right? So there are a number of things that we can look at. We can say, if you're looking for something that could turn into a tablet, something with a larger display, then go for the Z Fold 5. If you're looking for something that has better camera, then go for the S23 Ultra. And if you're looking for something that has, better battery, go for the S23 Ultra. If you're looking for something that is foldable or something that has a gigantic display that you can work with and be able to multitask better, then go for the Z Fold 5. We have a bunch of different ways. This could go in so many ways, but I'm more interested in, what you have to say. Which one would you prefer? Are you in the market right now? Even if you're not in the market, I would love to hear your take. I'd love to hear what you think of either one of these two phones here. So I'm going to catch you in the comment section like we always do. Make sure to like, share this video if you know anyone who would be interested. Also, make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. I will catch you in the next video. Up until that next video, of course, as always, stay safe out there.